Guys, I need you to do me a favor. Follow me on all my social media platforms. That's Facebook, that's YouTube, that's Instagram, and that's TikTok at DMP Speaks. Now let's get into this conversation today. Let's go.
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's going on? This is your boy DMP Speaks, and welcome to Speak Out Loud radio show on Fire 716 Radio. I'm so glad to be with you again. It is a special day because you are here and I am here, and we are, as they say, in the land of the living. And I'm hoping that you're living today is a wonderful, wonderful, nice day here in Western New York. And I hope that you guys are all doing well and staying safe. Listen, I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you to get me some energy on here. I'm going live today as well. Please, 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 let's do this together. Today, we're talking about the topic. It's time to declutter your mind. We're going to say it again. It's time to declutter your mind. Let's be honest. We got a lot of things going on. Yes, COVID is going on. The numbers are going back up, or they're in between, or you're getting all these different kind of reports, right? But a lot of people are dealing with a lot of stuff in their minds before COVID came, during, and even after COVID leaves. We all have some things that we need to declutter, and we're going to talk about it just for a few moments. I'm glad to be around you guys, to be in front of you, to be on your side, to see you do better, to be the best version that you can be. So let's go into this topic today. So one thing that I like to bring up when we're talking about decluttering your mind is rebuilding your self-esteem, rebuilding your confidence, and even how we're talking about today, and decluttering your mind, it requires renovation. It requires renovation. Now, to declutter, I like to give you like a definition, or I like to give you a quote, but today I'm going to just give you a short definition of declutter. Declutter is to remove unnecessary items or overcrowding of that particular item or items. So we have to not only just declutter, but the definition is unnecessary items. And I'm going to flip it, unnecessary thoughts, the overcrowding of your mind. We have to change that. Just like when it comes to an old house or a house that you're renovating, right? A person that wants to sell it on the market, that wants to make money from what they put in, they got to start doing some renovations on either the outside or the inside so that they can get the money that they put in back, or have some kind of revenue coming back, even more of what they put in, right? There's some major renovations that need to happen, right? Some things that were there have to be replaced. The cabinets, the furniture, maybe the floors, something has to be removed in order for new things to come. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of us are like this with our thoughts, with our mind. Not only do we have to declutter some things, we got to start to remove some things that have been sitting and dormanting and leaving spots. Have you ever got to a house and you're renovating, for the ones that are entrepreneurs and flipping houses? It looks great on the outside, but when you get in the inside and you start picking things apart and you're unscrewing stuff, you start to see that there's a lot of more damage than you expected, or you didn't expect, but you start to see there's a lot of things in here I really need to change. There's some things I really need to take out. It's the same way with your life. You can look fire. I mean, just like the radio show, you can look fire on the outside, pretty as could be. The muscles, all that, have the Gucci on. You could have all these great things, right? But internally, you battling. Internally, your mind is where it's not where it should be. Your mental space, your mental, capacity is not where it should be. Listen, everybody, listen, family. We have to declutter the areas in our mind, because let's be honest, we have some bad thoughts about ourselves. We have some bad thoughts about our past. Listen, I'm not sitting up here and saying that I've never dealt with that because I did it at one point in my life. I dealt with so much clutter in my thought process, how I looked at myself, how I perceived other people to look at me, how I felt about myself, right? And sometimes, to be honest, I grew up in church and everything, but it still was cluttered because I didn't know how to declutter those areas of my life. And let's be honest, that's a pattern. It's a bad pattern, but it's a pattern. Doesn't really matter what walk of life you come from. If you got some decluttering to do in your mind, you got to remove those things before it takes over you. And let's be honest, some of you, if we can be honest, those thoughts, those ideas of yourself, they have already taken over. And you might say, well, this sounds good, but how can I declutter? We're going to get to that toward the end. But I always like to kind of build this house. I always like to kind of give you some foundation before I give you some nuggets to go by before we end tonight or today. We have to continue to believe that we can become that person that we always wanted to be. I hear so many times, family, people saying, I want to change. I don't know how to. They'll tell me, DMP Speaks, you sound great, but I've been dealing with this for so many years. How can I really change? The first thing that I really want to tell you is it's a choice. Simple as that. You might say that's it. Well, I mean, there's other things to do, but you got to make a choice first to make a difference for yourself, to see something different than you've never seen before. See, we could be so subjective to settling for average. I'm going to say that again. We can be so subjective for settling for our average or the average that we feel like we've been given by our parents, by our community, by our society, by social media. We will settle for less. We will settle for less in our relationships. We'll settle for less and we won't go to school. We'll settle for less and we won't get the money that we know we can get to get that career that we want to get. We won't do those things. And we'll settle for whatever somebody has given us. We don't have to settle anymore. We don't have to settle for what people give us. We don't have to settle for how people treat us. If we could be honest, a lot of you have been settling. I'll go back to the relationship for a moment. You have been settling so much for people to treat you bad. You have literally gotten used to it. You have gotten used to people treating you bad. You have gotten to these relationships, unfortunately, and you feel that you're not good enough. So let me settle with this person because he loves me or she loves me. They give me so much attention, but do you really know that person? And then when they get settled in, they start showing you the other side of them. And because you feel like nobody else wants you, and I'm not going to stay on this too long, but you feel like nobody else wants you, then you start to settle. And then when that relationship don't have go there the right way, then you'll go to somebody else, and then you go to somebody else, and it's a cycle, and they keep treating you the same way. So that clutter, it starts to clutter. I'm not good enough. That's what you'll start saying to yourself. I'm not good enough. I will never be treated like I'm supposed to, so I'll just settle here. Listen, you don't have to settle anymore. I'm talking to young women and young men. You do not have to settle anymore. You don't have to constantly have these thoughts in your mind because you know what they're doing? I'm going to put it simple as I can put it. They are holding you back from being the best you can be. I'll say that again. When you settle, and we're still talking about decluttering, but we're talking about cluttering now. When you allow these thoughts to overtake you constantly, you are settling, and not only settling, you're being held back. There are so many things that you want to do, great things that you want to do, but you can't do it if you're allowing that person or that place or that idea or your past to continue to hold you back. Just like a new house, there are some things that need to be worked on, right? You got to make room for that fresh paint, the pictures, the siding. etc. The house might be old, but it could be new. It could be renewed, right? And you just can't just settle on those things. Anybody that flip houses, you understand, you're not going to sell the house as is. Some will, but if you really want to get your the most out of what you put in your investment, you're going to invest. Listen, it's time to invest in yourself. You've got to invest in yourself. And we're almost there to how to declutter. I want you to tell yourself, even on this radio show, even live, tell yourself, I will no longer settle. I will no longer settle. Whatever that particular thing is, I will no longer settle. If you keep telling yourself this every day, see, it's great to tell yourself certain things, right? Some very good affirmations. There's affirmations that I say, but if I don't believe it first and foremost, and I don't repeat them every single day, it's just going to be another a phrase or another word that sounds good, but it has no effectiveness. You got to say these affirmations every single day, everybody. This is something that you got to do every day because it turns into a habit. You want that affirmation not only to just say it, you want to believe it. So it becomes habitual. And whatever habits that you have, there's going to be greater outcomes. It's going to take some time, but it's going to be greater outcomes to come. Now, if you're ready, I want to give you a couple nuggets. This is what I call these golden nuggets. I want to give you these, just about 2 or 3, that I really feel it's going to help you declutter your mind, that you won't keep settling, and you'll see when you stop declutter, when you start taking these areas of your life, you're going to do better. There's nothing that's going to keep holding you back. You're going to start getting better. So the first one is learn how to let go and live. That's the first one. Learn how to let go and live. You got to let go of the pain. You got to let go of the confusion. You got to stop being so consumed with what happened to you. Yes, they hurt you. Yes, they left you. Yes, they abused you. Yes, they did. They talked about you. But that's your past. You're not that person anymore. What happened, happened. And it does take time to get healing. And healing doesn't happen overnight. But if you consistently say, I won't settle. I won't allow these things to hold me back anymore. And I'm going to start decluttering my mind. Then, man, you're going to start living the best life that you need to live. You're going to start being more happy. See, success is not just in money. I'll say that again. Make sure this thing is on. Success is not just in money, everybody. You can have all the money in the world. You can have multiple businesses, and there's nothing wrong with that. But where's your true happiness coming from? Are you living? Are you laughing? Are you loving where you are? I'm going to be honest. Can I be transparent for a moment? I don't want to do nothing for the rest of my life just to do it. Everything that I do, I want it to be purposed. I want to love what I do. I want to be passionate. I want to do what I'm supposed to do. Not what I'm just good at. I'm good at a lot of things. But I want to be purposed in doing what I'm supposed to do. And that's helping people. That's why I'm doing this radio show. This is not just about being on radio and putting my name out there. That's nice. But I want to be effective. I want to help you grow. Growth takes time. And we got to do it better together. We do it together. So you have to let those things go, everybody. And you got to start living. And you have to even recognize where you want to go. Man, I'm telling y'all, you got to find out where you want to go in life. what path you want to go down. Sometimes it can be a split in the road. You can either go left or you can either go right. It is up to you, but it's your choice. But I want you to make the right choice. I want you to start living your best life. Living your best life. Number 2, don't plan on leaving things that you don't need. Going back to that concept about the house. Nobody wants a house or sell a house with old appliances that don't really work. Old carpet that was there, right? You want to declutter that house. You want to rip it out. You want to take it out so that you can have space and capacity for new things. Again, we have to do that with our minds too. We got to declutter our minds. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? You got to be able to take those things out. I'm telling you, if it's a man or a woman that's trying to come back in your life, you don't think, and my wife is listening, you don't think some of my exes tried to come back to me when I was about to get married? Can I be honest? I got a call one day. It was like a week, maybe a week or two, I'm about to get married. I get a phone call. One of my exes called me. I'm like looking at the phone, like, what's going on? What do you want? Oh, I just want to, come and apologize for how I treated you. Now, mind y'all, we were done for like 5+ years. I said, okay, I'm a nice person. I said, okay, I appreciate it. We talked. And I'm about to get on the phone. She said, well, can I just say something? I said, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you got to say. She was like, well, if I had an opportunity, if I had a chance with you again, I would take it. I said, oh, okay. I guess she thought I was going to take a step back. I said, I appreciate it, but I am happy where I'm at. And I'm still happy where I'm at. Why am I saying all this? Why am I putting this out? Because there's going to be some people that see that you have changed because you're starting to declutter all this mental stuff that you don't need, all this extra baggage, and they're going to try to creep back. You can't leave that door open. You got to close that door because that person or that place or that situation made you feel small and made you feel insignificant. You got to be able to close that door to those past problems and open the door to new possibilities. That's what you need. You need new things to occupy this new space, this new you that you are building, right? You can't allow this mental clutter to take you captive. You have to be able to focus on where you're going, what you need, what you don't need, who needs to be there, who don't need to be there. And you got to continue to renovate your mental space for your life, and not just right now, for your future. Whatever your future you want it to look like, that is up to you. But you can't allow these things to keep overtaking that spot. And the reason why I'm staying here so much, I see so many people now as I'm working with youth that I work with during the day, in church and in different areas. Listen, everybody, I'm just going to say it. Some people just don't need to come with you. Some people are just problems. They're problematic. And I don't have time for problems, and you don't either. You don't got time to waste. Your time, your life is valuable. I'll say it again. Your time and your life is valuable. This is the time to declutter your mind. This is the time for you to grow. This is the time that you make change. This is the time that you grow and mature. This is the time for you to be happy. This is the time for you to be excited about life, even with things going on. If I can tell you guys everything that's going on right now in my life, you'll be shocked. You'll be totally shocked. If you would say, well, DMP Speaks, how are you able to do this? And how are you able to do that? It's because of the grace of God. It's his strength. He's like, oh, you about to get church. It's not about getting churches. This is just life. Whether the church doors are open or not, I still serve God. And I know what he has done for me. And I'm just encouraging you all. You got to learn how to declutter that mind. I'm telling you, I don't care how much money you have or you don't have. You have to declutter your mind. You got to get some things out. And I know it takes some time. Let me just bring it down a little bit. It takes time. Let me just talk to you. How I used to think about myself. I used to think of myself very low. I used to tell myself that I would never become a radio show host. I would never become a motivational speaker because I wasn't good enough. I would never find a wife. I'm serious. I'm just being transparent with you guys. I will never see 30. I will never walk again. I don't think you guys know my story. I'll share it really quick. So this is still think about decluttering your mind. I got into a car accident as a child. I was going to school. There was a line of cars on my side. I went through one of the cars, and there was a stop school bus on my side. So all these cars would stop. As I go across the street, I see this plumbing van coming. And I said, well, he's pretty much going to stop. He's not going to hit me. Guys, he never stopped. He hit me. He hit me so hard, he broke my right knee. He rolled over my left leg, and he severely crushed my left ankle. I had to have emergency surgery that day. This is March 25th, 1993. I had to learn how to walk again. I was in physical rehab for almost a year and a half, almost 2 years. I had to learn how to walk again. I've had cramps in my knees, that my knees would get stuck, my legs would get stuck. 96, they had to take the growth plate out of my left knee. They had to reconstruct my right knee in 1996. I had to go to a school, middle school, with crutches. I couldn't sit too long because my knees would stay in place. My father, God bless the dead, he would have to put them back into place. I've been through a lot of hell. And because of those situations, my self-esteem was very low because I gained a lot of weight. I was sitting there, couldn't move, couldn't do nothing for myself. And I love my parents and my sister today. Shout out to them. They fed me. That's what they did. A lot of Taco Bell. I just talked to my sister last night. A lot of Taco Bell. So I gained a lot of weight. So my self-esteem was down. My confidence was down. And so when I started to try to walk, it was tough. So my self-esteem wasn't really there. My self-love wasn't there. My confidence in myself wasn't there. So I started to clutter all of these thoughts in my head. I started to have cluttering because I didn't believe that I was good enough. I didn't think I was handsome enough to find anybody. I didn't feel like I was good enough to do all these wonderful things that I'm doing now. But I had to declutter my mind. And listen to me, everybody. You got to do the same thing. You got to declutter your mind. So I just want to tell you this. If you have a comment that you want to put out, if you have a question, the number here is 716-371-2780, extension 1. So I'm going to do that again, 2780, extension 1. I got that right now. So if you have any questions, please come in. But I just want to reiterate really quickly. You have to take time for yourself to declutter that mindset that you have. See, your mind it's like almost like a playground. There's a lot of things in it. And if you allow a certain thing on that mental space, on that mental ground to overtake you, you will feel like you can't do nothing else. You feel like you will never be able to amount to anything great. And greatness takes time. I never wanted to do things too fast. I always wanted that slow growth because I know that I'm building a good foundation. You want to build that good foundation in your life. You want to build that, and if it's been destroyed, if that foundation of confidence and self love and self value has been destroyed, you know that with time you can rebuild it. That's what you can do. You can rebuild your life. It's time to declutter your mind because you got some great things to do. You got some great things to accomplish. You got some great things to see. You have better relationships that are coming to you. You got better opportunities that are coming to you. But first, you got to do something with this mind here. Let your mind be in what? Christ. Because he's going to help you. Wherever you are, whatever you are dealing with, you can do it. Sometimes it's nothing wrong with getting help. There's nothing wrong with seeking help either. Just take that time to open yourself up for help. Open yourself up for new opportunities. Open yourself up and say, you know, however I used to be, I don't want to be this person anymore. However I used to think, how I used to make decisions, I don't want to be that person anymore. I want to change. You can do it. Again, learning how to let go and live. I'm going to be honest. I think this is the most happiest I've been in a long time. I'm still going through some hell. I'm still going through some obstacles. Don't get it fooled now. Don't let the haircut fool you. Don't let the jewelry fool you. Don't let the car fool you. I'm still dealing with stuff. But this is the happiest I've been. You know why? Because I decluttered my mind. So every time, and this is a bonus thing I want to give you, even when these thoughts start to come, and they will, I'm going to be honest with you, those thoughts, those negative thoughts will still continue to come, but you got to combat them every time. You got to destroy them every time. You can't allow them to overtake you. You got to remove them. Every time they just come, they're going to come. But every time they come, you hit them with some positivity. You hit them because that's what you got to do. You got to keep knocking them down. Declutter your mind, y'all. You got so much great things going on. I don't want to see you lost. I don't want to see you unhappy for the rest of your life. You don't deserve that. You went through too much. You overcome too much just to give up now, just to quit. No, you ain't got that quit in you. You might feel, oh, I'm gonna quit. No. You can't quit. You just can't do it. And I'm not gonna let you. You know why? Because I believe in you and I want you to become the best version that you can be. Declutter your mind. Let's go get it, y'all.
I needed that today. I ain't gonna hold you. I needed that today. That was good.
Thank you, man.
Red velvet, squeezing cream, cinnamon, only at Crenshaw Chicken and Waffles. Place your orders now at CrenshawChickenandWaffles.com. That's CrenshawChickenandWaffles.com. Pull up the 701 Street Avenue in the city of Buffalo, New York. That's Crenshaw Chicken and Waffles.
Hey, yo, check this out. It's your boy, D. Gary Wallace. Friday, May 20th, come to the Power City Theater. Where is that? 444 3rd Street, Old Parole Building. Comedy Show Explosion. You got hosted Katie Scantlin out of Buffalo, also out of Buffalo, Jamil Key, Tommy Thomas Jr., and of course me, D. Gary Wallace headliner. So be at 444 3rd Street, 7 p.m. Be here at 6. Peace.
For tickets and more information, you can visit us at PowerCityHeaters.com. That's PowerCityHeaters.com. And I want to help you become the best version that you can be. Please follow me on all my social media outlets, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, at DMP Speaks. But I want you guys to have a wonderful and amazing day. Let's go get it, y'all.